JLG Industries Incorporated, manufacturer of JLG aerial work platforms, presents 1200 SJP and 1350 SJP boom lift safety. The purpose of this presentation is to provide the operator with procedures essential for proper machine operation. This presentation does not relieve the user operator from the responsibility of obtaining, reading, and fully understanding the applicable Operators and Safety Manual and other information provided by the manufacturer. The Operators and Safety Manual, a safety handbook, and a copy of the ANSI SIA Manual of Responsibilities, ANSI SIA A92.5, can be found in the manual storage compartment located on the machine. If these documents are not available, they must be obtained and kept with the machine. The operator of a JLG boom lift must not operate the machine until the Operators and Safety Manual has been read, training has been accomplished, and the operation of the machine has been completed under the supervision of an experienced and qualified operator. In addition, the operator and employer are responsible for complying with federal, state, local, or provincial rules and regulations covering the proper use and operation of this product. If there is a question on application and/or operation, contact the Product Safety and Reliability Department at JLG Industries Incorporated at 877 JLG SAFE, 554-7233. This presentation consists of 5 parts, which includes the pre-start inspection, controls and daily function check, operating characteristics, safety precautions, and emergency procedures. It is your responsibility to inspect the JLG boom lift you will be using before operation of the machine. JLG recommends that you inspect the boom lift before operation, even if another user has put the machine into service. The pre-start inspection described in this video is the method of inspection required by JLG. The inspection procedures shown in this video are representative of those used on the 1200 SJP and 1350 SJP boom lifts, as outlined in the Operators and Safety Manual. Complete inspection procedures as outlined in the Operators and Safety Manual must be complied with. While the pre-start inspection and function checks in this videotape appear to be time-consuming, once an operator becomes familiar with these procedures, they can be completed more quickly. On each component being checked, make sure there are no loose or missing parts, that they are securely fastened, and that no visible damage, leaks, or excessive wear exists, in addition to any other criteria mentioned. Pre-start inspections of the JLG 1200 SJP and 1350 SJP boom lifts include the following: platform assembly, the gate latch, stop, and hinges are in good working condition and properly secured. The foot switch is in good working order, not modified, disabled, or blocked. Platform control console, the switches and control levers are properly secured and returned to neutral. The control lever locks function properly. The emergency stop switch functions properly. All control markings, decals, and placards are secure and legible. Rotator assemblies and articulating jib. Boom sections and cylinders, the wear pads are secure, all cylinder shafts are secure. Power track. Limit switch, the switch is operable with no visible damage. Turntable lock, operates properly. Auxiliary power system and hydraulic components. Turntable bearing and pinion, all components are properly lubricated, have no loose or missing hardware, and no evidence of loose bearing bolts or looseness between the bearing and structure. Swing drive motor and brake. Hydraulic oil supply. The recommended oil level is visible in the sight gauge. Ground controls. The switches are operable and properly installed. All control markings, decals, and placards are secure and legible. Fuel supply. The fuel filler cap is secure. The tank has no visible damage, signs of leakage, or spilled fuel. Compartment covers and latches in proper working condition. Battery proper electrolyte level if appropriate, cables secure, no damage or corrosion, the hold downs are secure if equipped. Caution: battery fluid is highly corrosive. Avoid contact with skin and clothing at all times. Always use eye protection when working around batteries. Engine installation: the oil supply is to the full mark on the dipstick and the filler cap is secure. The engine tray pivot has no visible damage. Frame assembly: check on top and underneath. Axle and steering components. Drive motors, brakes, and hubs. Wheel and tire assemblies. Check the lug nuts and tire condition. Check under the machine for loose or missing parts, as well as any fluid leaks which may indicate damage to the machine. Be sure to also include the following as part of the pre-operation inspection: overall cleanliness. Check all standing surfaces for hydraulic oil spillage and foreign objects. Ensure overall cleanliness. The placards: keep all information in operating placards legible, clean, and unobstructed. Cover them when spray painting or shot blasting to protect legibility. Ensure that copies of all applicable manuals, those being the Operator and Safety Manual, the Safety Handbook, as well as the ANSI SIA Manual of Responsibilities, are in the manual storage holder. Do not operate the machine unless it has been serviced and maintained according to the manufacturer's specifications and schedule. Check the machine for unauthorized modifications. Modifications or alterations of a JLG boom lift shall be made only with prior written permission of the manufacturer. You should start each day with a full tank of fuel. Check for spilled or leaking fuel. Always shut down the engine and don't smoke or have any open flames when refueling. Never refuel during an electrical storm. Ensure the fuel cap is closed and secure at all times. If any items need to be corrected, shut down the machine, remove it from service, and notify the proper personnel. Do not operate the machine until all previous items have been inspected and corrected. A function check of all systems should be performed after the pre-operation inspection is complete. The machine must be positioned on firm, level surface in an area free of overhead and ground level obstructions. Read and understand and obey all warning placards and operating instructions on the boom lift and in the applicable manuals prior to operation. Do not operate the boom lift until you have done so. Before operating the machine, check that the proper personal protection equipment is being used. JLG recommends that approved head protection be worn by all operating and ground personnel. All personnel on the platform of the boom lift are required to wear approved fall protection devices. This includes the use of a full body harness with lanyards attached to a designated lanyard anchorage point. You are responsible for complying with all applicable laws and regulations, their exact wording and requirements as they apply to your work, and using the personal protective equipment required to perform your work. 1200 SJP and 1350 SJP boom lifts are equipped with control panels that use symbols to indicate the control functions. Refer to the legend located near the platform and ground control panels for a listing of these symbols and their corresponding functions. Now complete a function check from the ground control station. The power emergency stop is a two-position red mushroom-shaped switch that provides power to the platform ground select switch when placed in the on position. When pushed to the off position, power is shut off to the platform ground select switch and machine operation stops. The platform ground select switch is a three-position, center-off, key-operated switch supplying operating power to the platform or ground controls as selected. When positioned to ground, power is supplied to the ground controls. When platform is selected, power is supplied to the platform controls. The engine start auxiliary power switch is a three-position switch that remains in a neutral position and must be held in the up position to start the engine or the down position to activate the electrically operated auxiliary hydraulic pump. The switch must be released and returned to neutral when the engine has started or must be held down during operation of the auxiliary pump. Let the engine warm up before operating any function. To start the engine, turn the key on the platform ground select switch to ground. Position the power emergency stop switch to on. Push the engine start switch in the upward position until the engine starts. If the engine fails to start promptly, do not engage the start switch for an extended period of time. After the engine is started, check the ground control indicator panel for any illuminated engine distress lights. If any of them are on, shut down the machine and have the problem corrected before operating the unit. Verify that the function cutouts for telescope and lift up operate properly while the axles are retracted. Prior to elevating the boom above horizontal or telescoping the boom to complete the ground control function check, the axles must be fully extended. The axles can only be extended from the platform control station. To extend or retract the axles, position the axle extend retract switch to the desired position while driving forward or reverse. The axles cannot be extended while the machine remains stationary. An axle set indicator will blink when the axles are extending or retracting and remain illuminated when the axles are fully extended. Raise and lower the boom by positioning the lift control switch up or down, respectively. Check that the platform self-leveling system functions properly during raising and lowering of the boom. The boom telescope switch extends and retracts the boom. Move the switch in the desired direction as shown by the arrows on the control panel. Check for delayed movement on the fly section, indicating loose cables. Check the platform leveling override for proper operation. It should tilt the platform in the direction desired when positioning the switch as shown by the directional arrows. Verify that the platform rotator rotates the platform 90 degrees in either direction from the center line of the boom. Check for smooth operation of the articulating jib while raising and lowering it. Verify the proper operation of the jib swing function. This function will only operate when the 500-pound capacity restriction has been selected at the platform control station. The jib swing function is disabled when the 1,000-pound capacity restriction is selected. Ensure the turntable lock is disengaged prior to checking the swing operation. To do this, locate the turntable lock on the turntable end facing the platform. Pull the snap pin from the locking pin and lift the locking pin up to unlock the turntable. Return the snap pin to the locking pin to hold the locking pin in the disengaged position. Important: check to assure that there is adequate clearance between the rotating superstructure and the other parts of the JLG lift or other obstructions so that you can safely operate the lift without being pinned. Now swing the turntable left and right a minimum of 45 degrees by using the swing control. Check for smooth operation. Check the emergency stop switch function by depressing it while operating a function, such as jib lift up. All machine functions will be disabled if it's functioning properly. If it does function properly, reset the emergency stop switch for operation. Verify the proper operation of the boom control system, with no load in the platform, as follows. With the boom fully retracted, raise the boom off the boom rest to horizontal. Position the jib to horizontal so that it's parallel with the boom, and level the platform. Extend the boom until it stops. The boom must stop on the colored stripe matching the capacity indicator. If the boom does not stop on the correct stripe, the boom control system must be repaired by authorized JLG service personnel before the machine can be used. Push and hold the gray boom control system test button on the ground control panel. The lighting of the green boom control system calibrated indicator indicates that the system is functioning properly. No indicator light or the lighting of the red boom control system warning indicator indicates that the system must be repaired by authorized JLG service personnel before the machine can be used. This concludes our functional check of the ground controls. We will now perform the functional check of the platform controls. Position the platform ground select switch to the platform position. Always face the machine and use the three-point contact method when entering or leaving the platform. The three-point contact method means that 2 hands and 1 foot, or 1 hand and 2 feet, are in contact with the machine at all times while entering or leaving the platform. Enter the platform, shut the gate, and verify that it is securely latched. Never use the boom assembly to enter or leave the platform. Attach the lanyard of the approved fall protection device you are wearing to the designated lanyard anchorage point. Check the control lever and toggle switch operation before use. All control levers and toggle switches should return to the neutral or off position when released. Never slam a control switch or lever positioned in one direction through neutral to the opposite direction. Always return the lever to neutral, stop, then move the lever to the desired position. Operate levers with slow and even pressure. The power emergency stop. This is a 2-position red mushroom-shaped switch that works in combination with the engine start auxiliary power switch to provide electrical power to the starter solenoid or the auxiliary power pump when placed in the on position. When pushed to the off position, the power emergency stop button shuts off the engine and stops operation of the machine. Within approximately 2 seconds of pulling the power emergency stop switch to the on position, the machine will perform a diagnostic check of the electronic circuitry and an alarm will beep once if everything is okay. The indicator panel lights will also blink once as the bulb check. If the alarm does not beep or the lights do not blink, shut down the machine and have the problem corrected before operating the unit. The foot switch must be released when starting the engine from the platform controls. It must be depressed before any functions will operate. The foot switch is equipped with a time delay, which cuts off power to all functions if none are activated within 7 seconds of depressing the foot switch. If this occurs, the foot switch must be disengaged and depressed again to restore power to the platform functions. Operate all controls with your foot off of the switch to make sure no functions are operational. If the engine starts with the foot switch depressed, or if any of the functions operate with the foot switch not depressed, do not operate the boom lift until it is repaired. Do not remove, modify, or disable the foot switch by blocking or by any other means. The engine start auxiliary power switch is a 3-position switch that remains in a neutral position and must be held in the up position to start the engine or the down position to activate the electrically operated auxiliary hydraulic pump. The switch must be released and returned to neutral when the engine is started or must be held down during operation of the auxiliary pump. The capacity select switch allows the operator to select between an operating envelope with either a 500-pound or 1,000-pound capacity restriction. Know the total weight of yourself and your equipment before operation. Never exceed the rated capacity. Distribute the working load uniformly on the platform floor. A capacity indicator on the platform control panel illuminates the platform capacity chosen. A push-type horn switch activates an audible warning device when depressed. A dual-axis joystick is provided for main boom lift and swing functions. Push forward to lift up and pull backward to lift down. Move right to swing right, or counterclockwise, and left to swing left, or clockwise. The main boom lift and swing functions may be selected in combination. Be aware of tail swing clearances when swinging the turntable to avoid contacting an obstruction or ground personnel. The boom telescope switch extends and retracts the boom. Move the switch in the desired direction as shown by the arrows on the control panel. Check the platform leveling override for proper operation. It should tilt the platform in the direction desired when positioning the switch as shown by the directional arrows. The platform rotator rotates the platform 90 degrees in either direction from the center line of the boom. Check for smooth operation while raising and lowering the articulating fly boom jib. Verify the proper operation of the jib swing function. This function will only operate when the 500-pound capacity restriction has been selected. The jib swing function is disabled when the 1,000-pound capacity restriction is selected. A function speed control provides variable speed control of all boom functions grouped together to the right of the speed control, which includes platform rotate, articulating fly boom jib functions, and telescope. The recommended operation of these functions requires the use of two hands. Rotate the control counterclockwise to the slowest position, select the function switch, and while holding the function switch on, rotate the speed control knob to the desired speed. To achieve a smooth stop, rotate the control back to a slow speed prior to returning the function switch to the off position. When you rotate the function speed control fully counterclockwise until a click is heard, this puts all controls including drive, lift, and swing into creep speed. This speed is used for more precise positioning of the platform when close to obstacles. A snail symbol is used in connection with a green indicator light to show when the creep function has been selected. The 1200 SJP and 1350 SJP models are equipped with a 3-position drive speed torque select switch. The forward position gives maximum drive speed. The back position gives maximum torque for rough terrain and climbing grades. The center position allows the machine to be driven in its quiet mode. A single action joystick is provided to control drive and steer. Push forward to drive forward, pull back to drive in reverse. The controller is proportional, allowing a variable drive speed between fast and slow. The thumb-activated rocker switch on the end of the handle is used to control steering. Push on the left side of the switch to steer left, on the right side of the switch to steer right. A steer select switch is used to select between conventional 2-wheel steering, coordinated 4-wheel steering, and crabbed 4-wheel steering. Coordinated 4-wheel steering is when the front and rear wheels steer in opposite direction for tight turns. Crab 4-wheel steering is when the front and rear wheels steer in the same direction for positioning against buildings or in aisleways. Exercise caution when using the 4-wheel steering function. When traveling over long distances, the machine may crab if the rear wheels are not straight. Never steer to extreme opposite directions at the same time when traveling in high speed. Always use low or creep speed when maneuvering in tight quarters. Prior to elevating the boom above horizontal or telescoping the boom, the axles must be fully extended. To extend or retract the axles, position the axle extend retract switch to the desired position while driving forward or reverse. The axles cannot be extended while the machine remains stationary. An axle set indicator will blink when the axles are extending or retracting and remain illuminated when the axles are fully extended. Verify that the telescope and lift-up functions are disabled with the axles retracted. When the boom is raised above horizontal, the high drive function will automatically be cut back to low drive. Do not drive with the boom above horizontal except on a smooth, firm, and level surface. Do not drive the machine on grades or side slopes exceeding those specified in the Operator's and Safety Manual and on the manufacturer's nameplate. Avoid any terrain which could cause the machine to tip over. Use extreme caution when driving in reverse, when driving with the platform elevated, and when driving with any part of the machine within 6 feet of any obstruction. Limit travel speed according to conditions of the ground surface, congestion, visibility, slope, location of personnel, and other factors which may cause collision or injury to personnel. Check the directional markings on the frame with those by the drive controller. Before driving, make sure the boom is positioned over the rear axle. If the boom is positioned beyond either rear tire, the drive orientation indicator will illuminate, and the drive orientation override switch must be activated to drive the machine, as the steer and drive controls will move in the opposite direction to machine travel. Verify that the drive override system operates in this manner. Do not use high speed in restricted or close areas or when driving in reverse. Always post a lookout and sound the horn when in areas where vision is restricted. When driving in high speed, adjust to low speed before stopping. Travel grades in low speed only. Be aware of stopping distances when traveling in all drive speeds. With the boom in a transport position, drive onto a grade. Do not exceed the maximum grade ability, and stop to ensure proper operation of the brakes and tilt sensor alarm. Verify the proper operation of the oscillating axle lockout with the boom fully retracted, lowered, and centered over the rear axle and the axles fully extended. The test procedure is as follows. Place a 6-inch block with a ramp in front of the left front wheel. Start the engine at the platform control station. Drive forward until the left front wheel has ascended the ramp and is on top of the block. Extend the boom out of the transport position, approximately 12 inches for the 1350 SJP and 24 inches for the 1200 SJP. Drive in reverse until the left front wheel is off of the block. Have an assistant verify that the left front or right rear wheel is locked into position off the ground. Return the boom to the transport position, then activate drive to release the lockout cylinders. Repeat this procedure with the right front wheel. If the lockout cylinders do not function properly, shut down the machine and have the problem corrected prior to further operation of the unit. This concludes the function check of the JLG boom lift. If any of the functions outlined in this video or in the Operators and Safety Manual for the applicable JLG boom lift model do not function properly, shut down the machine, remove it from service, and notify the proper personnel. The boom control system automatically controls lift and telescope when the lift function is selected. It will move the platform through a predetermined controlled arc equivalent to the percentage of extension. The boom control system allows the operator to select operation in either a 500-pound or 1,000-pound capacity restriction envelope. The operator selects the desired capacity restriction with the capacity selection switch on the platform control console. The capacity indicator shows the capacity selected, and both capacity lights will flash and an alarm will sound if the platform is out of the selected capacity range. Note that the jib must be swung to the center position before operation if the 1,000-pound capacity restriction is chosen. When the platform approaches the edges of the operating envelope, all machine functions are slowed down automatically by the boom control system to reduce machine motions. The control system automatically maintains a constant elevated boom angle when swinging the turntable. For example, if the boom angle is at 30 degrees and the swing function is engaged, the lift function will automatically engage to maintain the boom angle at 30 degrees relative to level ground. The boom control system senses the distance the platform is extended from the turntable, allowing higher swing speeds with the boom retracted and gradually slower speeds as the boom is extended. The 1200 SJP and 1350 SJP models are equipped with a platform self-leveling system instead of a master and slave cylinder combination to maintain platform level. Certain other JLG boom lift models use the master and slave cylinder combination to keep the platform in the same plane with respect to the chassis of the machine. This results in the platform tilting in the same direction as the chassis when driving up or down a hill or when swinging the turntable. The 1200 SJP and 1350 SJP platform self-leveling system keeps the platform in the same plane with respect to the ground. This results in the platform tilting to remain level with respect to level ground when driving up or down a hill. Some general safety precautions must be followed during operation of a JLG boom lift. First, do not operate any machine on which safety or instruction placards or decals are missing or illegible. Never operate a machine that is not working properly. If a malfunction occurs, shut down the machine, remove it from service, and notify the proper personnel. Do not use the machine for any purpose other than positioning personnel, their tools, and equipment. Keep non-operating personnel at least 6 feet (1.83 meters) away from the machine during all driving and swing operations. The operator is to take safety measures to avoid all hazards in the work area prior to machine operation. The operator is responsible to avoid operating over personnel on the ground and to warn them not to work, walk, or stand under a raised boom or platform. Ensure that operators of other overhead and floor machines are aware of the aerial platform's presence. Disconnect power to overhead cranes and position barricades on the floor if necessary. Maintain safe clearances from electrical lines, apparatus, or any energized parts. Allow for machine movement and electrical line swaying. The machine is not insulated and does not provide protection from contact with or proximity to electrical current. Maintain a clearance of at least 10 feet, 3 meters, between any part of the machine or its load and any electrical line or apparatus carrying up to 50,000 volts. 1 foot additional clearance is required for every additional 30,000 volts or less. Treat all overhead power lines as energized high-tension wires. Do not operate the machine when wind conditions exceed 30 miles per hour. Do not increase the surface area of the platform or the load. Increasing the area exposed to wind will decrease stability. Do not operate or raise the platform while on trucks, trailers, railway cars, floating vessels, scaffolds, or other equipment unless approved in writing by JLG. Operation with the boom raised is restricted to firm, level, and uniform surfaces. Check the work area for clearances overhead on the sides and bottom of the platform when lifting or lowering the platform and driving. Never move the machine or other objects by using lift, swing, or telescope functions of the boom. Do not push or pull the machine or other objects with the boom. Do not assist a stuck or disabled machine by pushing or pulling except by pulling at the chassis tie-down lugs. Never attempt using the boom as a crane, as structural damage or tipping may occur. Do not carry materials on the platform railing unless approved by JLG. Always ensure that power tools are properly stowed and never left hanging by their cord from the platform work area. Supplies or tools which extend outside the platform are prohibited unless approved by JLG. Never position ladders, steps, or similar items on the lift to provide additional reach for any purpose. Do not increase the platform size with unauthorized deck extensions or attachments. Never attach a wire, cable, or any other similar item to the platform. Do not place the boom or platform against any structure to steady the platform or to support the structure. Avoid any buildup of debris on the platform floor. Keep mud, oil, grease, and like substances clean from your footwear and platform. Keep both feet firmly positioned on the platform floor at all times. Platform to structure transfers at elevated positions are discouraged. When transfer is necessary, enter/exit through the gate only with the platform within 1 foot, 0.3 meters, of a safe and secure structure. 100% tie-off is also required in this situation using 2 lanyards. 1 lanyard must be attached to the platform with a second lanyard attached to the structure. The lanyard connected to the platform must not be disconnected until the transfer to the structure is safe and complete. When 2 or more persons are in the platform, the operator shall be responsible for all machine operations. Exercise extreme cautions at all times to prevent obstacles from striking or interfering with the operating controls and persons in the platform. During operation, keep all body parts inside the platform railings. Do not use the drive function to position the platform close to obstacles. Use boom functions instead. Watch for obstructions around the machine and overhead when driving. Keep the chassis of the machine at least 2 feet from holes, bumps, drop-offs, obstructions, debris, and coverings which may conceal holes or other hazards. Before driving on floors, bridges, trucks, and other surfaces, check the allowable capacity of these surfaces. Ensure that the ground conditions are adequate to support the maximum tire load shown on the decals located on the machine. Prior to the use of any authorized JLG accessories, verify that the machine has been properly calibrated for the use of the installed accessory. Proper calibration procedures can be located in the service and maintenance manual for your specific machine. This section provides information on the procedures to be followed and on systems and controls to be used in the event of emergency situation is encountered during the machine operation. Prior to operation of the machine and periodically thereafter, the entire operating manual should be reviewed by all personnel whose responsibilities include any work or contact with the machine. Although towing the machine is not recommended, provisions for moving the machine in case of a malfunction or power failure have been incorporated. Consult the Operators and Safety Manual for proper procedures to be used only for emergency movement to a suitable maintenance area. The ground control station is used for function check and emergencies only. It is located on the turntable of the boom lifts. The controls for this panel provide means for overriding the platform controls and for controlling boom functions from the ground. Place the control station selector switch to the ground position and operate the desired function switch. The auxiliary power system provides sufficient means to operate the basic machine functions to return the platform to ground level if the hydraulic pump or engine fails. A toggle-type auxiliary power control switch energizes the electrically operated hydraulic pump. It can be found on both the ground control and platform control consoles. When activated, the auxiliary pump will operate the boom lift, telescope, and swing. To activate auxiliary power from the platform, position the platform ground select switch to platform. Pull the emergency stop switch. Depress and hold the foot switch. Operate appropriate control switch or lever for desired function and hold. Position auxiliary power switch to on and hold. Release auxiliary power switch, selected control switch or lever. Position the emergency stop switch to off. To activate auxiliary power from the ground control station, position the platform ground select switch to ground. Position the emergency stop switch to on. Operate the appropriate control switch or control for desired function and hold. Position the auxiliary power switch to on and hold. Release the auxiliary power switch and select a control switch or controller. Position the emergency stop switch to off. Position the platform ground select switch to off and remove the key. Do not operate more than one function at a time while under auxiliary power. Operation of more than one function could cause the auxiliary power system to be overloaded, causing damage to the system. Know how to use the ground controls in an emergency situation. Ground personnel must be thoroughly familiar with the machine operating characteristics and the ground control functions. Training must include operation of the machine, review, and understanding of the Operators and Safety Manual, and hands-on operation of the controls. Place the boom in the stowed position with the axles retracted and the turntable locked. It may be necessary to lock the turntable with the boom placed over the front axle to provide better weight distribution. Hold the jib swing control switch to the right until the jib will no longer swing. Push and hold the jib stow control switch until the jib and platform are in the stowed position under the boom. To shut down and park the machine, The procedure is as follows. First, drive the machine to a well-protected and ventilated area. Ensure the boom is lowered over the rear axle. Shut down the emergency stop at the platform controls. Shut down the emergency stop at the ground controls. Position the platform ground select switch to off and remove the key to prevent unauthorized operation. If necessary, cover the platform controls to protect instruction placards, warning decals, and operating controls from hostile environmental conditions. Remember to uncover prior to operation. Chalk at least 2 wheels when parking the machine for an extended period of time. It's important to complete your work safely using the JLG 1200 SJP and 1350 SJP boom lifts. In order to do so, you must utilize common sense and the information provided in this presentation, in the operator's manual, and the decals and placards on the machine. We were not able to cover all optional features and configurations of all JLG 1200 SJP and 1350 SJP boom lifts in this presentation. Therefore, if your unit is equipped differently than those shown in this presentation or in your operating manual, contact your authorized JLG distributor in your area or contact JLG Industries for proper operating instructions at 877 JLG SAFE 554-7233.